Admiral Zexathara had witnessed the rise and fall of 17 civilizations during her 3-century command of Sector 7. Her crystalline exoskeleton bore the scars of 100 battles, each one a testament to the Vorthak hegemony's dominance over this corner of the galaxy. Nothing in her vast experience had prepared her for the sensor readings that now flickered across her command console. "Ma'am," her tactical officer's voice trembled through the bridge's atmospheric processors, "the contact is unprecedented." The thing approaching their sector defied classification. It wasn't elegant like Alarian vessels with their flowing biomechanical curves. It wasn't imposing like Krillian dreadnoughts, bristling with ceremonial spikes and energy projectors. This ship looked as though someone had taken a mountain, carved it into a rough approximation of a vessel, and strapped engines to it that burned with the fury of dying stars. "Size?" Zexathara demanded. 12 kilometers long, 4 wide. "Mass. Readings are inconsistent. It appears to be constructed from materials our databases can't identify." The Admiral's mandibles clicked in frustration. In 300 years, the hegemony's databases had cataloged every known starfaring species. Every ship design, every weapon system, every defensive capability had been analyzed, categorized, and filed away. Control through knowledge, that was the Vorthak way. Communications? They're broadcasting on primitive radio frequencies. The signal is unusual. The bridge fell silent as the transmission played. It wasn't the sophisticated harmonic languages of advanced civilizations, nor the mathematical precision of artificial intelligences. It was rough, primal. The sound of creatures that had evolved in gravity wells, breathing atmosphere, fighting for survival on some forgotten rock. "This is the UES Defiance," Captain Sarah Chen commanding. "You are in violation of the Sol defense perimeter. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Admiral Zexathara's translator struggled with the concepts. Sol? Defense perimeter? These terms didn't exist in any known stellar cartography. More disturbing was the tone, not the subservient pleading the hegemony was accustomed to from lesser species, but a flat, uncompromising statement of fact. "Open a channel," she commanded. "Unknown vessel, you have entered hegemony space. Submit to boarding and inspection or be destroyed." The response came faster than light speed should have allowed. "Negative. This is our space now. You have 10 minutes to clear the area." Across the hegemony fleet, alarm klaxons began to wail. 27 battlecruisers, each capable of sterilizing a planet's surface, powered their weapons arrays. The human's vessel made no corresponding move. It simply waited. Zexathara had seen this before. Primitive species making desperate bluffs when faced with overwhelming force. She almost felt pity for whatever creatures piloted that crude mountain of metal and ceramic. "All ships, target the unknown vessel. Prepare to..." The human ship moved. It didn't accelerate gradually like every other vessel in known space. One moment it hung motionless against the stars. The next, it was among them, moving in ways that violated 3 fundamental laws of physics. The Defiance materialized between 2 hegemony battlecruisers, its hull scraping against their shields in a display of either incredible skill or suicidal recklessness. What happened next would be debated in military academies for centuries. The human vessel didn't fire energy weapons. It didn't launch missiles or deploy exotic matter bombs. Instead, ports opened along its hull, and chunks of metal, crude, unguided projectiles began pouring out at relativistic speeds. The first hegemony ship died before its crew could even register the attack. Tungsten rods, each no larger than a Vorthak warrior's claw, punched through shields and armor like they weren't there. The second ship managed to return fire, its quantum disruptors painting space with deadly energy. The bolt struck the human vessel's hull and dispersed, simply scattered like light hitting a mirror. "Impossible," Zexathara whispered. "Nothing can shrug off quantum disruption at that range." Her tactical officer was frantically working his console. "Ma'am, their hull composition, it's not just unknown metals. There are organic components, some kind of adaptive material that's actually learning from our attacks. The Defiance carved through the hegemony formation like a predator through prey. Its crude projectile weapons found weak points that sophisticated targeting systems should never have been able to calculate. When hegemony ships tried to ram it, the human vessel's hull simply absorbed the impact, adding the enemy ship's mass to its own before spitting out the crew in escape pods. Within 17 minutes, 26 of the hegemony's finest warships had been reduced to expanding clouds of debris. Only Zexathara's flagship remained, its crew paralyzed by the impossibility of what they'd witnessed. The human ship pulled alongside them, close enough that the admiral could see details of its construction through the viewports. The hull wasn't smooth. It was scarred, patched, rebuilt countless times. This wasn't a ship built in peaceful shipyards by a secure civilization. This was a weapon forged in the fires of constant warfare, refined by species that had learned to kill or be killed. "Hegemony vessel," came the human voice again. "You're alive because we chose to let you live. Return to your masters with this message. Humanity is done hiding. We've been watching you for 50 years, learning your weaknesses, studying your tactics. This sector belongs to us now." "But your species isn't even in our databases," Zexathara managed to transmit back. The laugh that came through the comm channel was unlike anything in the hegemony's experience. Not the musical tones of advanced species, but something raw and predatory. "That's because we didn't want to be found until we were ready. We're the species you've been unknowingly strip mining worlds from for decades. We're the primitive civilizations you've been enslaving. We're what happens when you push prey animals too far." As the human ship prepared to depart, Captain Chen's voice came through one final time. "Tell your hegemony this. Earth remembers, and Earth is coming." The Defiance vanished as suddenly as it had appeared, leaving Admiral Zexathara alone among the wreckage of everything she thought she knew about the galaxy. In the distance, other ships were beginning to appear, not the crude mountain that had just decimated her fleet, but sleek, purpose-built vessels that moved with the confidence of apex predators. Humanity had indeed been hiding. And now that they'd revealed themselves, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath in anticipation of what was to come. The age of the hegemony was ending. The age of humanity had begun.